For more on all of this, we turn to Pamela Constable, a longtime reporter on Pakistan for The Washington Post. Her latest book is Playing with Fire, Pakistan at War with Itself. And welcome back, Pam.
Delighted to be back.
Flesh out for us a little more what it is that Dr. Afridi did on behalf of the CIA.
Well, it's clear that what he did was set up a vaccination campaign. He hired local nurses, he hired local health aides at their behest, and went out, apparently borrowed some cases for vaccine holders from the World Health Organization, and went out in the area of Abbottabad, the city, to vaccinate people against hepatitis B. Now, what's not clear is whether the entire campaign was fake or whether part of it was real. Apparently, some people are saying that actually they did vaccinate a number of people, but then never came back for the second round.
But what he was trying to get was DNA samples from the compound.
That's correct. And, we don't really know. I mean, it seems like he didn't. So that leaves open the question, what did he actually do? I mean, for this operation?
Right, because we have Hillary Clinton and Secretary Panetta both saying he helped.
Yes.
How did his name and this whole scenario leak out?
Well, I don't know how it leaked out, but he was picked up very soon after the raid. I mean, within 2 weeks of the raid, he was picked up by the intelligence agencies, and they have many what I should say good contacts with the Pakistani nationalist press, and I'm sure that's how it got out.
But I mean, in terms of how the Pakistanis even knew to pick him up.
Oh, well, I don't know the answer to that. But again, we're talking about an area that's, everybody knows each other. It's a tribal region of the country, and he was probably one of the most prominent people there. I mean, he was, after all, a surgeon from a tribal area, which means he was a very unusual man to begin with.
Now, what did the Pakistanis say and essentially reply to Secretary Clinton's point, which is, why would he be tried and sentenced? He helped find a terrorist or locate a terrorist whom Pakistan says they wish had been, apprehended.
Well, I think the answer to that question, you have to go back to look at the raid itself that killed bin Laden, and the difference between the reaction here in the West and the reaction in Pakistan was like night and day. Of course, the West was cheering and the White House was cheering. Pakistanis were not cheering at all. They considered it a great affront to their national sovereignty, and they were very embarrassed that they hadn't known. So what happened today, I mean, the fact that the sentencing, the whole notion that he was a traitor, even while we might consider him having done a patriotic act, is more of the same. I mean, it's more of the same embarrassment, the same feeling of being affronted, of being part of and working for a foreign state, even if that foreign state was a partner in the war on terror, an ally, and a great donor of Pakistan.
Now, what role, if any, did Save the Children, the NGO, humanitarian group, I think the largest in Pakistan, play? I mean, we know, and I reported in that piece, that he told the Pakistan Intelligence Service that somehow he'd been introduced to the CIA by Save the Children.
Save the Children officials deny that they had anything to do with sort of him in this context of this raid. They do know him, or they sort of did know him. He had attended some of their courses in Pakistan. They've got more than 2,000 people working there. They're everywhere. They're all over the country, as you say, very well known, and provided all sorts of training programs for people like him. So he was definitely familiar with and had been invited to participate, but everyone's at the organization certainly is saying that they had nothing to do with the actions he took.
So what's been the blowback on Save the Children and other humanitarian groups?
It's really been a very big chilling effect. I mean, Save the Children in particular had felt they had to get a number of people out of the country. I believe they sent 8 people out of the country and put some others in hotels who'd been working in that area. But they still have, many hundreds of people in other parts of the country. But more broadly, you had Médecins Sans Frontières, you had a coalition of international nonprofits saying this is terrible for us. We already have a lot of people suspicious of us. The Islamist groups put out propaganda that if you get polio, a vaccine is going to make you sterile. This will certainly make that worse.
So in other words, the Pakistan government has taken retaliation on these NGOs, making it hard for them to operate?
Not necessarily the Pakistan government. I think probably there's been pressure from the intelligence services. There's clearly been pressure from the religious groups. There have been threats from the religious groups. I think the government has been more sort of responding to that.
And has the CIA said anything about whether, well, I suppose they wouldn't, whether they do work through NGOs?
I don't know what they've said specifically. I'm sure they would categorically say that they don't. There have been a number of other incidents up there in the past couple of years, right in that little tribal area and in Peshawar, of people who were supposedly working for NGOs and either got killed or arrested or something happened to them. So there's some little murky room there.
Well, Pam Constable, thank you so much.
Happy to be here.